sure. Oh my God. I'm resident of College Tree. That's my buddy Patrick McCray. Happy birthday, Patrick. Uh, that's my buddy Alvin Gallant. We're here to review My Neighbor Totoro. This movie is directed and written by the legendary Hayao Miyazaki, produced by Tora Hara. Cinematographer is Hashio Sherry. Music by one of my favorite composers, Joe Hashishi. Uh, no, I'm not going to pronounce it. Production company Studio Ghibli. This movie came out April 16th, 1988, distributed by Toho, of course. In Japan, this grossed 41 million. So I don't know. I don't think it got any American release in a sense. So
Not for many years, I don't
not
think.
for many.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think everybody, I mean, I think there are VHS tapes being passed around, but that's about it.
yeah. But this is available for Blu-ray, as is other Miyazaki work. So, guys, when did you first see this movie, Alan?
This is the first time I've actually seen it in full. I've seen some trailers and so on in the past, but this is the first time I actually sat down or laid down. I actually laid down in my bed and prop up a couple of pillows and just kind of totally relax and watch movies like this. So that's what I did after I got out of classes today. I came home and just kind of laid out and watched.
What did you think?
I think it's a great film. It's got a lot of interesting stuff. It's got child's eye point of view, but it also, it has some adult themes, but
Yes.
children are exposed to some very adult things like the possibility of loss or death.
Yes.
And that's definitely a part of this movie. And that's scary for a 4 or 5 year old, May is the one that I feel closest to, although her sister is definitely heroic in a lot of ways, and she very much loves her sister. Um, but it's got all of those great things in it, the cohesiveness of family that we all would like to have, Um, it's idealist in a lot of ways in terms of that, but it also through the child's eyes has all of these obstacles and terrors and triumphs of life in it.
Yeah.
um,
There's a Miyazaki. There's a lot of realism in a sense in this movie for Miyazaki. Um, Hayao Miyazaki's mother, for those who don't know, died in a sanitary. Very sick, and
mhm.
he never got to go back and see her before her passing. And a lot of that pain is in this movie in a
Sure.
sense, for him when he's writing it and stuff. So May, a lot of times he felt two conflicted emotions. He was very sad. He kept thinking about how his dad said, "You need to be strong, for mom."
Sure.
So he was quoted once saying he felt like both these girls in this movie at times because he was by his dad. It's like, hey, you need to be tough, but at times he felt so.
Hmm.
The older daughter is a lot like her mother. She wants to be strong. She's trying to kind of make up for the slack of her mom not being there.
Yeah, she's trying to
Because,
protect her sister and
yeah,
and be there for her and so on. Yeah.
yeah, her dad's a professor. He's at work. Uh, a lot of the times. So when they move into the most time they have together is at the very beginning as father and daughters, where they're fixing up they're basically cleaning the floors or making sure the house is neat. And the next day he's gone off to work. They go to school. They walk to school actually, and they walk back. They live in the countryside. For those who've never seen this movie, and you do get a sense of May and the older sister, I forget her name's playfulness together. It's not all adult themes. There are adult themes
No,
as
but
Alan.
it's child's eye even
Yes,
with that. So yeah.
yeah, but I would say that she is very much her mother's daughter. The older daughter, where she's trying to sort of exert responsibility with being a child of her own age. Whereas May is a lot more innocent and just wants mom to come home and is hopeful that mom will come home. Um, and then they meet a forest spirit named, well, Totoro, uh, who is not quite their neighbor, but he,
Mhm.
but he is around.
He's
Um,
he's as neighborly as you get when you're in the world of nature, and that's another thing about this film. Nature is a big part of how things work here.
yeah,
And
this is not. I would say for those who've ever seen Miyazaki's other movies, this is not Princess Mononoke at all. Um, this is not violent. This is not.
no,
If you're looking for that, you've come to the wrong movie. This is a very family friendly. Totoro is very interactive with the kids. He's very friendly toward them.
and nature is not unforgiving either. I mean, the little soot critters and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
They're all sort of there, realizing that the people are part of their world too, if they want to be.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. For those who don't, I think Tim Daly voices the dad, if I'm not
Yep,
mistaken.
that's correct. And then the
Uh,
Fanning sisters voice the two sisters,
yep.
which is Satsuki is the older sister, and then May.
Yeah.
Dakota was Satsuki, and Elle was May.
May. Yes. Yes. And for those wondering, is this Tim Daly's first rodeo? No, he actually voiced Superman in the Justice League
Mhm.
for many, many years. Actually, he had his own. Superman had his own animated TV series, and Tim Daly was the voice of the Man of Steel for many years.
And for
So,
those who don't know, Tim Daly is Tyne Daly's brother.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Is it brother
Um,
or son?
Brother.
Brother.
Yeah.
yeah. So, what did you guys, or sorry, what did you think of the? Because again, this is family friendly. What did you guys think of the end of this movie? Oh,
Oh, I mean, some of my favorite scenes are in the end of this movie, though, and I'm going back to, I'm not just like the ending couple of minutes, but
right.
going back to the whole ending sequence where Satsuki is just running and running and running and running to try to find her sister. It's a really kind of cool, and of course, that's very anime too. That kind of
Mm-hmm.
action is very anime, but it builds the tension. It also allows you to understand how desperate and close to her sister she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's willing to just basically do anything for her, run until her heart bursts if she has to. She just keeps running and running until finally it's resolved. And the all of these otherworldly sort of supernatural natural beings that show up, the kitten bus and all of that sort of thing is fun. And that's a child's imagination. That's a child's eye view of the wonders of the world. And in this case, it's a reflection of these two kids' world and together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's fantastic. I love the way that she goes and she finds Totoro and ends up like bouncing off his belly. She does it earlier and then does it again, or her sister does it earlier, and then she does it. And he wakes up, and of course, it's the roar that draws everybody, all of his other nature friends and super nature friends, I guess, the super
Yeah.
nature, whatever you want to call them, and all of this sort of thing. And this again is, the a bond between these girls and the natural world. It's really cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
Before I get into the supernatural stuff of this movie, which is really cool, I love how Miyazaki told the story of how the neighbors chipped in helping the find man.
Yes.
Um, the whole entire farmland of people, because they were all farming, they would all wave at the girls as they would go to school and come back. And as soon as they found out May was missing, they instantly start chipping in to help. find her,
Hmm.
even searching the water for her, like in case
Yeah.
she is gone. That's
Yeah.
sort of the darkest part of this movie. You don't
It is,
know.
and some have interpreted that as meaning that the both sisters ended up dying and that they were actually ghosts at the end of the movie. Although the filmmaker said, "Nah, that's just
No,
crock."
no,
But I understand why somebody might come up with that theory. You know,
yeah, it's an interesting theory, but no,
it's
Miyazaki.
not the true theory. It's not the true intention of the film. No.
It is interesting when you're right because it is interesting when you're watching this movie. It's like, did they? But no, no.
No. No.
Uh, the one of my first initial favorite scenes is when they're at the bus stop and Totoro's there, and he has this leaf. They give him a little
It's
leaf, but it's a yeah. And they're waiting for the bus. Here comes this cat bus, and it stops. So its eyes are glowing like
hmm
lights, and it looks at them with this shit-eating grin, like,
Of
and
course.
they're
Let's
like,
get on.
yeah, they're like, this ain't for us,
Hmm.
um, which is really cool. But I do love how the cat bus comes later to help uh, Dakota Fanning's character,
Hmm.
and she gets on the cat bus, and they go across the power lines. This is how fantasy this gets, which is really cool.
Yes.
That's what you're wanting out of a movie like this, to help find May, and they do find her, and she's sitting there alone, and she goes, "May, don't ever run off like that. I love you." And you have that strong sister bond of each other. I think what I will applaud Miyazaki with for both, because my favorite thing about him is, yes, he writes some of his own tragedy in his stories, but he doesn't always direct every movie he writes either, or helps
No.
create.
No.
He does trust. Well, a lot of his proteges had died in the mid '90s. The movie that I love, Whisper of the Heart, was directed by one of his proteges. And he said, "It's your turn. It's your turn to take it," because he was going to retire in the mid '90s. Nobody knew this. He tried to retire 4 different times in the
Yeah. Well, he
'90s.
basically developed a whole stable of
Yeah.
directors and performers and everything else. He
Yep.
created this sort of like what Orson Welles did with the Mercury Theater and that sort of thing.
Yep.
He was doing that.
Yes, he did. Um, and he does such a great job trusting the people around him, not just over their shoulder looking at them and making sure their work's right. Yeah, that's part of it, but he trusts the people around him, which is nice to see. I know he's retired now. His son's handling the stuff, but
Yeah.
um, again, it's really, really interesting. Patrick, do you have any thoughts?
Well, Miyazaki was known for, again, being there for his animators, but not, as you said, not hovering, too closely. And his animators often said that the work they did for him was Sisyphusian, which, Sisyphus myth, not having to roll the rock
And have it
up
come
the
back down
hill
all the time.
and
Yeah.
having it crash down. And I said Miyazaki was really good at preventing the rock from crashing down, in his mild supervision. In fact, they called him the over-the-shoulder boulder holder. So that's the thing. I mean, it's a soaring triumph of the human spirit,
Yes.
seen through the eyes of a child, where coming of age means losing your innocence, but not your optimism. That's my thought.
Absolutely. Uh,
I have not seen the film.
it's okay.
Oh, Satsuki is also
Yeah.
the embodiment of girl power.
She sure
Yes.
is, and
She
that cat
really
bus.
is.
Who'll get
Yeah.
over the cat bus? Not me. Not anytime soon.
Uh,
Buffalo cats.
Alan, what do you give the movie? Scale 1 to 10.
This is a really good film for that studio. I would give it a 9 in
Mhm.
comparison to some of their other films.
Mhm.
I particularly like the sad films sometimes and give those 10s just because that's my personality. But
Sure.
this is a good film.
It is. I would give this movie a 10. It's really, really good. Again, is it my favorite Studio Ghibli movie? No, but it is really, really good. It's a movie I showed to my kids when they were younger,
Yeah, it's a good kid movie. It really
and
is.
they loved it. And it was very heartwarming. I will give TCM a lot of credit and for allowing John Lasseter to explain the backstory of this,
Mhm.
because John Lasseter did talk about Miyazaki and his mom, and how this it affected him writing this, because he was heartbroken putting a lot of his pain into this, but he didn't want to solely focus that either.
No, but I think it's wise to let in an audience that may not be as familiar with the Japanese work, to
Mhm.
let them in on some context. I think
Yeah,
that was a good idea.
yeah, absolutely. So these you can own all these movies on Blu-ray. Blu-ray. I own a lot of them. Totoro,
I mean,
Castle
does that mean
Sky.
you dominate them?
I
So
own
you
a
own
lot of
them?
them. I own a lot of them.
Mm.
Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro, Whisper of the Heart, Howl's Moving Castle, Porco Rosso is a Buster Keaton as a flying pig. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, Michael Keaton, sorry, as a talking flying pig is all.
Well, I'd like to. I'd see Buster Keaton do that. Only it'd be
I'd see
live
Buster
action
Keaton.
stunt.
Yeah, but sorry, Michael Keaton, I meant to say. But yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, a lot of those movies are really cool. So yeah, I give this movie 10. It is Alan's turn to pick for next
Thank
for
goodness.
Oh
tomorrow.
my God! And I don't. Oh God! What am I going to do? Um, let's do Bringing Up Baby. We haven't done that, have we?
No,
No,
I've
Yeah.
been talking about it lately.
Let's do that.
It's a
Let's
good
do that.
follow-up to now. Jewel, have you seen this movie?
It's
no, I have
also a
not.
screwball. It's also a great screwball comedy. And it's got
Howard
all
Hawks.
yeah,
Howard
and it's got
Hawks.
all sorts of undercurrent themes which are great and fabulous.
Well,
So yeah.
definitely. Yeah, well, check it out. That'll be tomorrow's movie for us, for the three
Great
of us.
movie.
Uh,
Mhm.
does anybody need a later start time? I can.
No, I won't.
No,
Okay, I just
I
asked.
typically come in a couple minutes late, guys. I just do that.
No,
So
it's okay. I just
yeah.
figured I'd
Well,
ask the case.
I mean, we could change it to 10:45.
Uh,
Um,
Because
yeah, let's go. We'll
Alan,
go
usually
10.
I'm a few minutes late.
But if you do 10:45, I'll come in at 10:50. So
Well, we
this is
won't tell
just
you.
my terrible
We won't tell you.
habit.
Alan, it's 10:30. Jewel, it's
Okay.
10:45.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That solves the problem. Anyway.
yeah, I
It
just
just
figure I'd
confuses
ask.
everything.
I just figure I know sometimes you guys get caught up with work and stuff, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
Just dragging my ass. That's all I'm doing.
No, you're
I'm
not.
not gonna I'm not gonna
Stop.
excuse it in any other way.
You
Uh,
stop. But link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Day Book About is going to be in the description box. Link to Alec Gallant's YouTube channel, College Sport After Dark, is going to be in the description box. You guys have a safe night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Jewel, you're the best. Thank you.
can't see it, but I'm tapping.